Here.
Thanks. Ugh.
What's wrong with it? Oh!
Okay, so right away I have a problem with the start of Season 4. Mark appears to be suffering from PTSD, and it's never been a problem up to this point. I don't know why they started introducing stuff like this now, especially since it doesn't seem to affect any other character aside from Mark. Especially, he has flashbacks of the Viltrumite War, which he chose to sit out. Remember when Eve got hurt and was in a hospital? He chose to sit next to her while everyone else was fighting for their lives. The world was being destroyed, and he sat it out. Right? And he somehow feels sorry for himself now, like, I'm not buying it. Also, later on, he fights alongside Battle Beast when that triggers PTSD. Okay, so the next clip we see is Mark bullying his little brother, but is even too bad at that, so he just ends up leaving himself. And I don't know why we get scenes like this. They go nowhere and they contribute nothing.
Someone spotted Furnace downtown.
So let someone else do it. It's not my fault everything sucks.
What did you say?
What did you say, nigga?
Fine. I'll handle Furnace alone.
Okay, so the next scene shows that Mark has no character. We get introduced to a great villain, and Mark contributes absolutely nothing to their conversation.
Hey, did you guys request an assist from Invincible? No. What? Who are you? What do you want? Go to hell. Looks like you picked wrong.
Okay, so overall I pretty much liked the introduction to Dinosaurus, but it's just that the show goes out of their way to show you the surroundings, which was an abandoned construction site, and the fight starts by Mark just getting hit out of nowhere, like Dinosaurus just teleports next to him. If he got the jump on him, why didn't he just kill him? That's his stated goal.
What just happened? Where's the dinosaur?
So, you care about Samantha.
More than anything.
You saw her in the hospital. Broken legs, broken face, in a coma.
Okay, so Eve's dad is completely valid here. He doesn't want his daughter to die, which I guess is understandable, but the show tries to paint him as the villain again for some reason. I don't know.
All thanks to one of your friends.
They weren't my friends. That wasn't my fault.
The only 2 times Samantha's almost died has been because of you.
Okay, so overall I'm feeling pretty mixed about this scene. I like Eve's dad in it and the dialogue he provided, you know, kind of giving Mark the option to reflect on past events, but Mark refuses to do so. This makes the scene very tedious to watch because every time I'm expecting Mark to say something to stand up for himself verbally, he just doesn't, right? It's a lot of build-up and no payoff at all. Like, you're sitting through this scene and you expect Mark to come up with something better than, oh, it wasn't my fault, or oh, that was different. No, those weren't my friends. You know, I was expecting Mark to reflect on this. It was a perfect setup, you know, quiet night, Mark and Eve alone, Mark and Eve's dad alone, smoking cigars, right? But this scene just didn't go anywhere. Like, right afterwards, Mark goes to Eve, like, oh, your dad bullied me, and Eve's like, oh, my dad's never right.
But your dad's right. Yeah, I can't keep letting people get hurt because of me.
My dad is not right, Mark. He is never right.
You know? And he's supposed to be in his dark Spider-Man phase, right? He's supposed to be more confident, more brutal, more resolute, right? More of a douche as well. It doesn't come across when his character is the same wimpy kid from season 1. Like, seriously, most of the time he just cries about all the things that happened to him to Eve, and that's it. I like the way they teased Eve's powers not working, but anything else inside this episode is just dumb. Get a Sequid invasion, and an invasion by Galactica, and then this scene happens, right? 2 grown adults can't overpower Rudy's teenage body, and they struggle, and the Sequids just sit around, do nothing, and he gets out of there somehow. Everybody just acts like an idiot, so our main characters survive. Then Mark gets involved, and he gets to the heart of it all, right? He grabs the astronaut by the throat, that was responsible for the Sequid invasion. Bulletproof comes rushing in while he's holding him by his throat, just not doing anything. He looks back at Bulletproof and then just decides, I'm just going to murder this man. During this time, he could have done anything, right? Flew to him, held him there, grabbed the disruptor, came back, and then activated it, but he just doesn't, right? For some reason. And I gotta say, it's part of Mark's character development that he's ready to kill now, I guess, but why is he doing that in stupid situations like this? Like, there could have been a million other ways that this could have been handled, right? You have a character with super speed, super strength, super durability, and he could have done anything, right? He could have just flown over the street, grabbed the thing, came back, meet Bulletproof halfway, whatever, right? But in a situation where killing is not required, Mark kills. And in situations where everybody's screaming at him like, kill the guy, he's going to kill us all, he just hesitates, right? That's the problem I have with this. And also just the way he deals with the aftermath. You would think that at this point he's a bit more hardened to brutality, right? Even though the brutality that he inflicts upon others, especially since we see him beat up, what's his name? Or getting his brother almost killed, the stone guy, right? Even though that wasn't his fault, right? But he just beats him up. That's how aggressive he is now. But for some reason, he's still the same pussy inside, right? He goes crying to Eve, oh, I just killed the astronaut Eve. I need moral support, you know? I expected him to be more like, hey, it had to be done, or I did what was necessary, or I don't care about it, or, you know, anything. But no, he's just the same old wimp. Oh yeah, and somehow Conquest escapes, right? I mean, I guess he has the strength to break out of this bunker, but why didn't the GDA, you know, take any precautions in, you know, keeping him restrained, like planting the device in his brain like they did for Mark, planting a bomb, doing anything really, like, or just get Doc Sinclair to operate on his brain, anything, right? Turn him into a reanimate, I don't know. Why do they need information about the Viltrumites? What is the GDA going to do about it? Like, they don't help in the coming war, so why the information? What is that going to do for you, right? Episode 2. Basically just a giant fetch quest of Nolan and Alan traveling the galaxy, looking for the weapons that can damage Viltrumites for the upcoming war. And I don't like this at all. Like, every single scene is insulting your intelligence, and I will just let you watch those clips by yourself and get my word in afterwards.
You think I would ever help one of his kind? You left me to die here. 100 years alone in darkness. 100 years!
I'm sorry.
Do they have food on your ship?
Oh, that was easy.
We discovered a compound in their shells that makes us weak to physical injury. My orders were to wipe them out. I guess I missed a few.
Well, that's convenient.
You get Coalition scientists to extract the compound, refine it, and put it in darts.
Then what? Then what?
They were majestic beasts, as intelligent as they were deadly.
What happened to him?
All their water evaporated into space. I hope there might still be a few alive.
Boy, are you stupid?
Our forces are still recovering. But there is a warrior on Earth who may be able to help you.
Today's your lucky day.
So if they're all popsicles, how are we gonna find them?
Telia, we'll need to move the disk and let the planet warm up a little.
General Telia, allow me to handle this.
What's this button do?
What a waste of time.
And that pretty much concludes the fetch quests of Nolan and Alan. All of that, just a giant waste of time, and that's pretty much the entire episode. They are left with nothing except for these bugs, and I don't know what they're going to do with those darts, because the compound may weaken Viltrumites, I can believe that, but what is the dart going to do? What is it made out of? Why not make weapons instead of darts, right? Why go for darts? If you have something that can pierce Viltrumite skin, just, you know, make weapons out of that stuff instead of darts. Like, yeah, this shouldn't work, you know? This shouldn't work. Okay, I also love how Alan and Nolan go by this water planet, wasting enormous amounts of time just hoping to find one of these sharks there. For whatever reason, it's been like decades or even centuries since Nolan did this, and what is he expecting to find except bones, right? Like he moved the planet closer to the sun, let all the water evaporate, and he somehow thought, well, I thought maybe one of them would still be alive, and then what? You're fighting in space, not in water, right? What are these things going to do? Someone also tell me what their plan was for the Ragnars, because those things aren't tame. They would just lash out at anyone, right? Kill everyone they can lay their claws on, right? Also, they're fighting in space, and those things have been shown to be weak to cold because they're cold-blooded, like lizards, right? And space is pretty cold, right? So how are these things even going to be of use to you? This is like all the risk for no reward. Right off the bat, this episode is off to a bad start with me because Rudy just didn't know that he swallowed a whole sequid and he spits it out in the beginning. Like, I mean, people choke on grapes, right? Or on, I don't know what, but he just swallows a whole octopus and he doesn't even notice until he's home later that day and takes a shower. Come on. Okay, can someone tell me what the point of this suit actually was? Like, please explain in detail why they went for this suit. I mean, Mark became more aggressive over time, I guess, and he wanted to distance himself from the GDA, I guess, but he just becomes a crybaby after wearing this. Like, there's nothing more to his character. Like, different suit or not, he just feels like he's turning in circles, right? Like he's facing the same problems and moral dilemmas that he was in the prior seasons, so I don't really know what this suit is meant to embody, really, or what it stands for, because his character hasn't changed, and I don't know what the suit is supposed to reflect then. Yeah, also Eve is freaking out about her powers, but I don't really care at this point, because with this show, you know it's always going to work out for your main characters, so why should I be worried? Alright, then we get Oliver volunteering to work for criminals. I hated this scene. I don't know why this is happening. I mean, I guess Oliver not being experienced enough to know right from wrong, it's one thing, right? But Mark and Eve know what happened in the past, especially Mark, who was betrayed by Titan. Now they get a call from Titan asking for help and they just do it? Like, what? Yeah, so Oliver arrives at Titan's penthouse, and I really like this scene because it shows you so much about Oliver's character without needing any or not much dialogue, right? And I'm just wondering, why are we never getting this for Mark or any other characters, right? Mark is always just standing around, not adding much to a scene. He doesn't have any charisma, right? He's basically just John Invincible at this point. And it's a shame, because he's the protagonist. And I shouldn't like his little brother that was introduced to us in Season 2 more than him. These guys invade again, and I honestly can't see them anymore. They've been around since Season 1, and all they ever did since then is just invade Earth at random times, then do some random bullshit, and then leave again. It's always the same. And why should I be worried now? My biggest gripe, however, I have with these two ping pong balls. I mean, I guess they were designed to kill Viltrumites, but they're being piloted by regular Flaxons. Like, the show shows you that they're piloted by regular Flaxons. And I can believe that these robots may have the strength and durability and possibly even the speed to kill a Viltrumite, or at least to keep up with a Viltrumite, but the pilots don't. Like, Flaxons don't have super speed. How are they reacting to anything that Mark does? It's like a tank being piloted by a crew of newborns. Like, what damage will that do, right? Yes, after the Flaxon attack, he regroups with Oliver and they beat up Dr. Liu, Mr. Liu, and drive him off, I guess. Then he goes after Titan for no reason, and he beats him up. And I don't know why this scene is happening, but, you know, Mark is just being unreasonable again, and that's what I mean when he's just lashing out at random people while wearing this suit. He's just lashing out at anyone for any reason. I'm just looking at it and thinking, what kind of idiot is that guy? Like, he sends his brother in to deal with Dr. Liu. Well, Mr. Liu, why do I keep saying Dr. Liu? But he sends his little brother, when he knows he almost died fighting that guy, right? He just doesn't think things through, right? And then he blames Titan for that, like messing with his family. Like, no one was messing with your family. He asked for your help. You sent your little brother got into trouble, and now you're beating up Titan for this. You know, it just doesn't make sense. I would have loved to see Mark beat up Titan for his betrayal in season 1. That would have been reasonable, right? That would have been aggressive. That would show Mark was holding a grudge for that. But the show doesn't do that. They just have him freak out for no reason. And that's supposed to be like character development. Like, he's just being a child. Also, remember in season 1 when we were introduced to Titan and his stone skin was damaged by regular handguns and shotguns or whatever? And now he's just tanking hits from an enraged Invincible. Like, make it make sense.
What's going on, kid?
Art, I did something terrible.
Okay, so this is a scene that I've personally been waiting for a long time. Mark coming clean and reflecting on past events, but it just doesn't come across as genuine when you have all of the events of the past in mind. Because mind you, Mark set out the Invincible War. He caused millions of deaths by sitting this one out. He could have stopped multiple variants by himself, right? And he chose not to. How is that not weighing on him? Also, in his fight with Conquest, he literally leveled an entire city. Like, the scene where Conquest flies down on him and smashes into him, shaking the entire ground. We see buildings, like skyscrapers, crumble, right? Mark just doesn't care for some reason. But now the show brings it up. Like, I'm feeling guilty for killing that one astronaut, even though I've caused millions of deaths by not doing what I'm supposed to do. You can't make this shit up. What is this? Like, this doesn't come across as genuine conflict when he should have been conflicted about other things, like dozens of other things. But now somehow this bothers him. I just can't take this seriously.
I'm him, Art. It finally happened.
There'd have to be a lot more death and destruction in your wake to make you like your dad, Mark.
I should give this back to you. I don't deserve to wear it anymore.
I don't deserve to wear the suit anymore. You know, it would have come across as more genuine if he didn't set out the Invincible War, you know, the war that caused millions of people to die all around the world. I don't think he's like his dad. I think he's even worse. His dad never caused the level of destruction that he did, even voluntarily, right? Consciously. Nolan didn't cause as much damage as Mark did. Also, having both of these themes, like gore and shock value, and then on the other hand, you have these reflective moments, right? People feeling guilt, and the personal side of it all. I don't think it works when you put them both together, because in one scene, Mark is punching a villain through a building, not caring about civilian life, and the next scene, he's reflecting on civilian life. Like, it's what's going on, right? It doesn't come across as genuine, and it's astonishing, right? It's jarring to listen to, because I'm having, as a viewer, like, I'm having all of these past events still in mind, right? And now I'm sitting here watching Mark feel guilty about killing a single person when his body count is in the thousands or millions, right? Like what's going on? Yeah, and then they waffle on about, oh, you know, thinking about it makes you not like your dad and blah, blah, blah. But notice how no character ever confronts him about the Invincible War. Even at the time, Cecil said to him that once Eve wakes up, she's going to be mad at him for sitting it out. Instead of, you know, being out there fighting, he's just sitting next to her doing absolutely nothing while people die. Eve never confronts him. Did they all just forget? It seems like the show wants you to forget, but it's just such a stupid event. I think that people are just unable to forget it or suppress it. Like, it's just that stupid. It's just a major flaw in this plot, and the show just glances over it as if we just all have goldfish memory, right? It's even worse when you finish the season, right? And the final scene where Thrag offers him this proposal of crossbreeding with humans and then having a truce going, right? Mark refuses and almost gets billions killed because he wants to stand up to Thrag. His ego almost gets billions of people killed, innocent people that don't even know this conflict is happening.
And I just can't take scenes like this seriously now, because the same character, a few episodes later, is ready to sacrifice billions for his own ego. You know when he stops and accepts Thrax's proposal? When Eve gets threatened, right? Eve, not his family, not his friends, nothing. No, his girlfriend. Yes, when she gets directly threatened, he stops. He stops resisting and he says, okay, I'll take your deal. I was ready to sacrifice billions of others, but Eve is just too precious to me. Like, how are you supposed to take this guy seriously when that's the way he acts? Like, and just to pile on to the plot conveniences, Art just hands him his suit, saying that, you know, I figured that you might need this, so I created it. I mean, okay, I guess.
It's gonna be the most gorgeous superpowered super baby ever. Congratulations!
Okay, so why is Eve going to this asshat for advice? I mean, this is Mark's best friend, right? Why isn't Mark talking to him? Why is Eve not talking to one of her girlfriends or, you know, anyone else really? Like, why is this dynamic so weird? We've been shown that Mark and William are best friends. We've been told that. We never see any proof of that. We're just expected to believe it. But if that's so, why is Mark going to Art of all people? He doesn't know Art the way he knows William. Like, why isn't he talking to William? Also, it's weird when you think about it. Like, it gets a bit ridiculous when you think that Eve doesn't have a problem with facing death on a daily basis, fighting Viltrumites and stuff, and almost dying twice, right? In brutal fashion, mind you, right? And later on in the series, she gets her leg ripped off by a robot and whatever. But all of that doesn't seem to faze her. But somehow the thought of becoming a parent is making her feel so anxious that she would rather opt for an abortion. Like, make it make sense. You know, the show's reasoning is kind of like Eve felt alone and she didn't want to raise a baby by herself. But look who she went to advice for. She went to William. And there's Rick, there's Amber. She clearly has friends around her. She has a mother that would support her, like actively supporting her even against her father's will, right? She has a father, even if she doesn't like him or he doesn't like her hanging around with superheroes and stuff like that. That's what her father wanted for her, right? Having a family. So I guess he would support her even while having a baby, right? Like, the show tries to make it seem like she's some orphan that doesn't have any friends and now, you know, she's left with a baby but she has people around her. The show just forgets when they're not actively on screen.
Holy shit.
The time for war is upon us.
Alright, episode 5. I really like this scene. It might be my favorite scene in the entire season. But it's carried hard by Debbie, and I don't think Nolan adds much to it, you know? The only thing I have against the scene is Debbie hitting Nolan and then bleeding from her hand. Like, how hard was she hitting him? Like, he's not made of rocks, right? So that was a bit stupid, but yeah. Other than that, it was a great scene. The problem is that we go immediately to an action scene, and I don't know, it's something that is prevalent in this show, but they don't give you any breathing room after scenes like this. Like, this is hard, right? Like, hard stuff. And then they just switch to this, and not only that, but we get a scene that just made me cringe physically.
Oh, stop it! Stop it! I mean, don't totally stop. A little bit is okay. You can clap. Yeah, that feels right. You're welcome.
Also, how is this even a fight? She took out an Invincible variant by herself, mind you, without sustaining any damage, and now this guy can just damage her suit. I'm not buying it, right? Apparently everyone is Viltrumite level when the plot needs them to be to have an exciting fight like this going, but I don't buy that Big Chungus is showing up and is suddenly Viltrumite level, right? I can't take fights like this seriously. They're just filler, just get to the plot of the Viltrumite War, that's what everybody's here for. Okay, so after sitting through a whole lot of nothing, we get this. They get attacked by Viltrumites, their ship explodes, and they're left in space. First thing I'm wondering is, how did Oliver get knocked out by that ship exploding? Shouldn't he be stronger at that point in time? Like, he's mingling with Viltrumites, you know, beating up everything that Mark can beat up, right? Like, he's just as strong, just as durable until he isn't, and he's the only one who's being knocked out by this explosion. Like, I mean, even if he was at the heart of it, he's tanking hits that split mountains, right? That could split continents, but somehow, you know, he's knocked out by an explosion. Also, I'm wondering, what are the repercussions for being unconscious in space in this? Because this will happen a lot in this series, characters just, you know, not having breath and being in space when we're told they can't breathe in space. Instead, they need to fuel up on oxygen on some planet, right? And then hold their breath. But when you're unconscious, wouldn't your body instinctively just start breathing? So what happens if that happens to you in space? Like, are you just dead? What's going on, right? The show never explains. Oliver is knocked out in space, apparently no repercussions whatsoever. So Oliver lands on this planet to catch his breath, and Conquest comes out of nowhere before he's pushed away by Mark. And I like this scene because it adds a lot to the power dynamic in this series. You know, Oliver has super speed, but everyone else is still this much faster than him that he has no idea what's going on. I like it, but that's about all the positive things I have to say about this fight. I hated both times Conquest died, just as a side note, but I will break down everything I disliked about this fight in detail. You know, back in Season 1, everything felt like it had a real impact, like even when characters were weaker then than they are now, everything, like even Mark at his weakest, hit Nolan so hard that a sonic boom rattled behind him when he hit him straight on the cheek, even though that punch barely moved Nolan's head, right? But now we get scenes like this where I'm just thinking, are those little baby taps supposed to hurt? Like, I'm pretty sure I could tank those, right? It's not, it doesn't come across as hard hits or painful hits, right? That these characters are tanking. And I just can't take this fight seriously when this is how it opens, right? And also, just because of the tactic, like Mark's genius plan is to just hold on to him and choke him. And I don't know who the bigger idiot is in this fight, either Mark or Conquest, right? But it doesn't seem like either side wants to win. Like, what's Mark's plan? Conquest could just grab his arms, dislocate his elbows, right? Gouge his eyes out, do whatever, right? Just squish his heart later on. He ends up on top again, and what does he do? He places his thumb in Mark's mouth so he can just bite it off, I guess. Genius plan by Conquest. Yeah, so Conquest pulls out the ultimate move, which is the Viltrumite Palm Strike, and he aims it at Mark's guts. Why not his throat? Or his head? Or his heart? Because, you know, that would kill him, that would win you the fight and literally save your life. But he doesn't do that. Instead, you know, he just pierces his guts. And his spine, mind you, his hand goes out the back. And Viltrumite or not, there's a spine. So how is Mark able to move without a spine? You know, his legs shouldn't be working anymore, but he's walking, I guess. Also, I find the show making Mark kill Conquest a second time by choking him and not letting go extremely goofy. I don't know if they meant to make him look tough or anything, but it's just stupid. He should have died 27 times in this fight. And yeah, him not letting go even once, like by reflex or anything, it's just stupid. Like, I can't enjoy this scene. I can't watch it. I can't immerse myself in this. I can't feel anything in the scene when I'm stuck up on, this shouldn't work. Like, none of this should work. Also, just a little side note, isn't it convenient that this planet full of rocks has oxygen on it? Okay, so his plot armor saved him from dying here and he kills Conquest. And I'm just wondering, what are they going to do to save Mark from these injuries? I mean, his spine was severed and his guts were pulled out. And as you can see, Conquest is still holding on to them. I mean, is there anything that I should be worried about going forward? Like, if they can survive stuff like this, a severed spine, their intestines being pulled out, and I'm assuming they can't open Conquest's hand, to get them, right? So they cut them off and they just regrow. I get like, what am I supposed to be worried about here? What can kill Viltrumites? It doesn't seem like anything can unless the plot needs them to die. But if the plot doesn't require them to die, they can just survive any injury. Also, after the battle, these two are conveniently safe. Like, they just build a base underneath a Viltrumite ship and no one saw them, I guess. But where's the oxygen coming from that Zoe needs to survive? I mean, her suit only has so much, I guess, but now they can just travel to wherever and she just has an infinite amount of oxygen in her suit. Okay. Since I've noticed that while editing, this video is already half an hour long, I decided to make this 2 parts. I doubt that anyone will watch this anyways, so yeah. 2 parts. Part 2 is coming soon, I guess.